Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 2024 Lauderdale Lakes Candidates Forum. At this time, I want to, well, first of all, my name is Patrick Green. I want to invite the Boyd Anderson ROTC to lead us in the pledge as well as the raising of the flags. Give them a round of applause, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may now be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, State Representative Lisa Dunkley, thank you for being here. Welcome to the Lauderdale Lakes Candidates Forum. My name is Patrick Green, and tonight we gather to hear from the individuals who aspire to lead our vibrant city into the future. Our objective is simple and clear. We want to hear the plans and visions of these candidates so that we, the voters, can make informed decisions and elect the best leaders in November. Lauderdale Lakes has a rich history dating back to its incorporation in 1961. Originally a small suburban community, it has grown into a diverse and dynamic city with a population of approximately 35,600 residents. Our city is known for its cultural diversity, with nearly 49% of our residents being foreign-born. This melting pot of cultures is one of our greatest strengths, fostering a community that is both inclusive and vibrant. Like any community, Lauderdale Lakes face its share of challenges. Only 15.2% of our people aged 25 years and older have a bachelor's degree. The median household income in Lauderdale Lakes is $41,644, which is significantly lower than the state's average. The per capita income in the city is a low $22,439. Additionally, 23.9% of our residents live in poverty, and the city has a relatively high percentage of individuals without health insurance, which stands at 20.8%. These statistics, ladies and gentlemen, highlights the economic and social issues that our future leaders will need to address. Despite these challenges, Lauderdale Lakes remains a city of potential and promise. Our residents are resilient and our community is strong. As we listen to the candidates tonight, let's keep in mind this unique quality that make Lauderdale Lakes special and the opportunities we have to build an even brighter future. Congratulations to the candidates here tonight. Running for office requires immense courage and a deep commitment to making a difference. Your willingness to step up and serve our community is truly commendable. Thank you for your dedication and passion for Lauderdale Lakes. So without further ado, it's showtime. Let's welcome, with the loudest round of applause, the persons who are the candidates for the commissioner seats. And as I call their names, they're going to come to the stage and take their seats. From seat 1, we have Anika Omphroy. Round of applause, please. Easton Harris. Seat 3, Tycie Causewell. Seat 3, Dr. Nethel Stevens. Seat 4, Karlene Maxwell Williams. And also in seat 4, we have Paul Martin. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our moderators. Two strong women who have cemented their place in the fabric of Lauderdale Lakes through their history and their activities. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bessie Dennis and Barbara Smith.
All right. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm going to finish out on this end. So welcome. Thank you, Patrick, for that amazing introduction. And hello, Lauderdale Lakes. How y'all doing? Come on. This is amazing. It is my honor and privilege to welcome each and every one of you, my residents, my neighbors, our partners, those watching online. Hey, Michelle was here, but it's okay. We want to welcome you to the 2024 Lauderdale Lakes Forum, Candidate Forum. And this is so important and vital for our city. And we can go ahead, you guys can go ahead and have a seat. The forum will be done in 2 parts. The first session will have the candidates for commissioners, which are seated, and the second session will be the mayoral candidates. And each session shall last no more than a little bit, an hour and 15 minutes or so. All the candidates in their related session will be on the stage at the same time. The forum will follow a question and answer format. Each candidate will be asked a primary question. After they have answered the question, the other candidates have an option to answer that question or pass. You can just signal by just doing your finger, and because we are sharing mics, so we asked if you just, share your mic, that'll be great. Now, each candidate will be given a maximum of 90 seconds to answer that particular question. And while answering, we ask that all candidates will refrain from talking. This not only shows respect, but allow the audience to focus on the answers provided. So with that being said, we wish everyone luck, and we thank you all for being here again. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to give the candidates 60 seconds to introduce themselves, and we're going to start with our seat 1 candidate, Anika Omphroy. Do you guys have a mic over there? No, I'll pass mine. I'm sorry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anika Omphroy, and I'm glad to be with you this evening. It's a pleasure to see so many individuals from the beautiful city of Lauderdale Lakes here with us today. My name is Anika Omphroy. I'm the former state representative for the west side of Lauderdale Lakes. In my time in office, I was able to bring back to my district $30 million. The city of Lauderdale Lakes directly received $9.7 million. My focus in Tallahassee was bringing back resources back to the district that I love and that raised me. And my mission as your commissioner for seat 1 will be to continue the process of making sure that we receive the necessary funding to continue to run this city in an efficient and effective manner. My second job will be to make sure that we look at the current budget and ensure that we are not doing any unnecessary spending in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. In order to advance this city, we have to focus on the revenues coming in, the revenues going out, and the revenues necessary to expand and continue the progress of this beautiful city. I moved to the city in 1988 as a 10-year-old. And I must say that it has been an honor and a pleasure to live in this city, but also to grow in the city. You guys have given me everything I have, and I look forward to continue to give you everything I have. Once again, my name is Anika Omphroy, and I am the candidate for Commissioner seat number 1, and I'm asking you tonight for your vote and your support. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Lauderdale Lakes. Well, my name is Easton Harrison, and I'm running for commissioner because I believe that this city has an ample amount of potential. And as somebody who was actually born and raised here in the city of Lauderdale Lakes, I have firsthand experience to see exactly what that potential is. And my platform is very simple. It's 5 points. My first point is to advocate for more programs for seniors and youth. Secondly, I want to bring more dine-in restaurants to the city of Lauderdale Lakes and enhance our business community. Thirdly, I want to go ahead and focus on better community engagement here in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. Because what people don't understand is our cultural diversity is a gem, and we need to find a lot more ways to acknowledge that. As your commissioner, I plan to be a commissioner for everybody, every group of people, and not just one singular group of people. I plan to be a commissioner for the people at large. And lastly, I aim to help lower our property taxes. I want to look at our millage rate every year or every time it comes around and see how we can bring our millage rate lower and help our property taxes go a lot more lower. I feel like I'm the best candidate because not only am I born and raised, but I think the city needs a fresh new perspective. Once I am elected, I will be the youngest in the history of Lauderdale Lakes to ever serve in this seat. And I think this is exactly what we need in today's generation. We need more people in this age group that can stand up and fight. I have over a decade's worth of experience as a community organizer. I've been endorsed by the Broward Young Democrats, the IUPA, and several other organizations. I actually see people in the audience who I've worked with before here and had great opportunities to learn from them as well. Thank you guys for your support. I hope you invest in my vision. Thank you.
Thank you. Just so for everyone else, I will stand when you have about 15 seconds, and then after that, we will absolutely may have to just cut the mic, but go ahead. 60 seconds for introductions.
Good evening, Lauderdale Lakes.
Good evening.
I am Dr. Nethel Stevens, and I am a candidate for seat 3. Psalm 78 and 72 is my favorite scripture because it talks about that he shepherded them according to the integrity of his heart and the skillfulness of his hands. And that is why I'm running for seat 3 in Lauderdale Lakes. The integrity deals with the passion, the camaraderie to run from it, but it's something that's very key that's missing in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. It is the skillfulness. It takes governance to run a city. We're not running a community service project as city commissioners. We are governing, which means that if you know what a city commissioner do, we set policies and direction. We deal with land use. We focus on strategic planning. And my goal is simply to build the city for a better future. You're going to hear more about it today, but I ask for your vote. Dr. Nethel Stevens, seat 3, City Commission, Lauderdale Lakes.
Good evening. Good evening, Lauderdale Lakes. My name is Tycie Causewell, a resident of Lauderdale Lakes for 41 years, an active participant in nearly every aspect of Lauderdale Lakes life for over 30 years. And I'm now in the C3 as a commissioner. And tonight, this evening, I want to just let you know that I have worked diligently, hard, smart, and I want you to remind yourself and me that Tycie Causewell has been one of the great assets to Lauderdale Lakes. And as I know that commissioners set policy, and my policy will continue, and the first one I'm looking on, the condos, 55 and over, 40% of our house right now is, just finish this, okay? I'll finish next time. But I'm here to ask you to vote for Tycie Causewell, seat 3.
Okay, I'm not going to stand up, so, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I am your sitting commissioner, and my name is Karlene Maxwell Williams in the seat number 4. I am the incumbent, running again for my seat for another 4 years. I'm originally from Kingston, Jamaica. I've been a dedicated public servant in Lauderdale Lakes for over 2 decades. My commitment to this community is unwavering, and I always strive to be a strong advocate for its residents. Elected to this commission in November 2020, I have since taken various leadership roles, promoting diversity, advocating for the residents of Lauderdale Lakes. I bring wealth of knowledge, experience, and expertise in my role and continue to be an important voice for change in progress in my community. Thank you.
Hello. First, let me just acknowledge our state representative who are here, Mr. Speaker, our chairpersons, county commissioners, mayors, and all our guests from Lauderdale Lakes. Welcome. Visitors, welcome to T. Martin. I see you down there. My name is Paul Martin, and I've been a resident in the city of Lauderdale Lakes for the past 30 years. I attend St. Diego High School and CAS, College of Arts, Science and Technology, that's in St. Andrew, Kingston, Jamaica. I didn't start as a politician like my opponent. I started out as a volunteer. Being volunteer for my senior citizens within Lauderdale Lakes, helping renovating homes, cutting their grass and so on. But over the years, I become a community activist because I was with the Obama campaign. So therefore, I started knock door and meeting the residents, so I get involved with the residents. And that is how I get familiar and knowing my residents.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Okay. All righty, so here we go. The first question is, the median income, household income in Lauderdale Lakes is $41,644. In the state of Florida, that number is $69,303. What specific plans do you have to attract new businesses, strengthen existing ones, and stimulate economic growth in Lauderdale Lakes?
Thank you so very much for that question. My mission has always been to look at the economic advancement of the people that I serve. So one of the things I would look at is 3 parts. So you're talking about how to raise income level of residents. So one of the things that we would need to address is making sure that we had STEM programs in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. At this current time, we don't have any STEM programs that you can go and attend at no cost at any of our parks or recreational facilities in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. So that would be one for residents, right? At no cost to our residents, because as you grow, we grow financially. 2 would be to make accessible more micro grants to business owners and small business owners. But my main crown jewel of what I would like to do, a micro business grant would be $5,000 and under, so that small business owners who will have an idea or are growing their products will have an opportunity to apply for the grant, receive the grant, and then be able to use that to move forward. The third thing I would look at is creating within City Hall. My mission is to move our City Hall to 441 in Oakland Park and to build a downtown area, which will increase the revenues coming into the city. But within that new governmental center, I would like to have an incubator hub within the city where small businesses can come and get their mailboxes to start off at no cost from the city and then be able to grow within the facility. So there'll be office spaces that will be co-working use spaces for these businesses to grow and advance. I also would like to have a setup where you could do your videos. If you wanted to do a video about what your business does or a video about your cooking channel, I believe that we need to have a 5-story governmental center with the bottom area.
Thank you, Anika.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Very good, very good. And again, everyone will get 90 seconds if you want to. Go ahead. We can go right down the, oh, you want me to repeat the question?
No, I'm good. I got the question. You ready?
Okay, you got it? Yep, we're ready.
All right.
We can start. We'll just go down the line.
Well, that's an excellent question because small businesses are the backbone of this country, it's the backbone of this state, backbone of this city. And specifically for the question, what we need is, yes, we need more micro grants for these small businesses. But once we create these grants, create these programs, who's going to be there to help these businesses actually fill out the paperwork and go through that process? And that's why in the city of Lauderdale Lakes, what I want to implement is a small business technical assistance program where we can actually walk through and help these businesses apply for these programs in the most best way and help them actually get the funding that they need. Second thing we need to do is take away a lot of the red tape. It is so hard to start a business no matter where you are. If you want to go in one of these spots in these leasing plazas and get a business, the process to do so is so confusing, it's so hard, and it's really not welcoming. So I want to get rid of this ivory tower and actually get rid of a lot of the red tape and obstacles that are in front of these small entrepreneurs that would like to take their business to the next level. Secondly, I would like to especially start more programs for our youth. Right now, we're at Boyd Anderson High School where I serve as a community liaison. And right now, we're working on a program for an internship program with the city of Lauderdale Lakes. And these interns can also go to the small businesses in the plazas and get job experiences. That's a benefit for the students to get on-the-job training and experiences. Also a benefit for the small businesses to work with these students as staff and employees. And yes, they're going to be getting paid a stipend of $15 an hour. So these are just a few of the things that I would like to work on. But most importantly, what's the point of having a business if you go through Lauderdale Lakes and you go into these plazas and they're not well kept? So what are we going to do to also keep these businesses clean, keep these businesses looking up to par? I plan to work with the leasing managers to do just that, to hold these small businesses accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that answer. Next, Dr. Nethel.
That's a very loaded question, and that's probably one of the reasons I ran, because it sounds really good to have all of these platforms, and I'm quite sure our elected officials can attest to this. But the first thing we need to do is understand, why is that median income? Is it because we have undocumented people? Is it because we have people that have limitations in terms of the type of employment they have? Because we can all stand here and say, we're going to create this, we're going to do this, I'm going to offer this to business. What are we doing with what we have? Is the city currently paying the residents that work for them more than $41,000? So it's really about really getting the right data to move the city forward. It starts with research first, because there are a lot of things. I've read in the Census Bureau for the last 3 decades in Lauderdale Lakes. There are a lot of things that factor into those economic indicators. So the first thing is to find out, why is our median income $41,000? Then we start working on programs, innovation, entrepreneurship opportunities, training and development. What do we have to do? I know Commissioner Maxwell always works on citizenship. So there are so many things that play into that. I don't want to stand up here and lie and say, I can do this, I can do that. The first thing I need to do is research and find out what's going on. And let's start with the people that work in our city. How many employees do we have work for Lauderdale Lakes, that live in Lauderdale Lakes, that make under $41,000? Let's start right there first. And so that's the plan, because that's why economic development is my #1 core point, because it deals with infrastructure that can bring jobs to the city. It deals with working with the businesses.
Stevens.
Okay, thank you.
I think it starts with City Hall. One of the problems that we have created in Lauderdale Lakes Charter, that 90% of the people who work at City Hall do not live in the city, and because they do not live in the city, they have, there is a separation. The monies are taken out. Many of them are more than highly paid and eyed. These residents do not get back much in return. And I can look on the development services that bring in money. They are always understaffed, and the areas that take away money is overstaffed. So I would start first, get consultant or whatever it is, and see what can we do about City Hall, because too much of the budget goes to the people who really do not have, they have no investment in the city.
Thank you, Tycie, Causewell, Commissioner. Thank you.
So, being a commissioner for the past 4 years, I've created the Late Business Spotlight that's been going on since I've been, where I highlight all the businesses in the city and promote them, that business and revenue can come into the city. And I've been doing that for the past 3 years. As far as helping the city and the business, I've been been asking to be on board to have the Chamber of Commerce that we really need, that we can help our businesses. As far as immigration, there's a lot of us here in the city that are undocumented, or they have issues with immigration that they can't find jobs, they can't work. And that's where I come in with helping them. I have helped several, over 1,000 people in Lauderdale Lakes get their citizenship, and as far as getting them IDs for undocumented people that they can get, be productive in the community. And I will continue to do so. Thank you.
I'm back again. First, we are going about it wrong. We got to look at our economic, the population of Lauderdale Lakes. We got to look at the income what our residents bring forth to Lauderdale Lakes. And that is why, when I'm elected, I'm going to bring a program named People Development Program. This will train our residents to go out there, find better job, bring more income in the city, so therefore everyone will benefit from it. Business will benefit from it, the city will benefit, every one of us will benefit from that program. Low income is what killing us. We have no millionaire in Lauderdale Lakes. We just have to work with what we have and try to improve on what we have. Thank you.
All right. Good first round. There are nearly 7,500 condo units in Lauderdale Lakes. With the experience of the disaster in Surfside and the new laws for buildings 30 years and over, how do you plan to mitigate any such disaster and the financial burden on residents, especially the senior citizens living among us?
Excellent question. Thank you for that question. So first and foremost, I think it starts with the leaders within the HOA condos, the HOA, people who sit on the boards of these HOAs. I want, as a city commissioner, to put pressure on them to make sure that they're following everything up to code, they're meeting their deadline as far as the building and infrastructure inspections, but also make sure that they're treating their residents more fairly. Because right now there's a lot of things going on within these condos where people who sit on the board of the condos are doing all kinds of stuff and nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody's holding them in check. And when you go to people, you can clap for that because it's true. I live in a condo myself, so I'm a homeowner. I own a condo over at Cypress Chase North, and I could tell you I've served on the board of my particular condo association. And there is just very little accountability with these homeowner association officers. And when you go to Tallahassee, they're going to tell you that they can't do anything about it because these individuals are not elected officials. However, they have a lot of the same similarities of elected officials. They're over public money. They're over the inspections. These are lives that are at stake, and they're over here doing all types of other stuff. So we as a city, as a well-knitted community, must come together and make sure that they're following the state standards, that they're following the inspection guidelines, and that they're offering the most quality service to their residents as much as possible. Thank you.
Anika has the opportunity. 90 seconds.
Thank you so very much for that question. I too live in a condo, and as the former state representative, you're probably a little upset with me because I was actually one of those members that voted for us to put in the laws to make sure that these buildings get inspected and that we do not have an issue in Surfside. I actually voted with my other colleagues. We voted unanimously to pass that law because we wanted to make sure we took care of lives. I will tell you that I do not believe it's on the HOA presidents or the HOA members to deal with what's taking place in our condos. I believe that we need to go to Tallahassee and ask the state. I've already talked to my state representative, Representative Lisa Dunkley, about what adjustments can be made to the condo laws to hold the condo association presidents
Thank you.
more accountable.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that the Florida in 2024 passed the Condo Act. They actually just revised the 3.0. So in that Condo Act, and our role to play in the city is they're holding these condo associations a little more accountable. There's financial transparency that's required, the structure of the 30-year. Also, there's a certain reserves that are required for structural repairs to be in the condo association. There is also qualification for members that sit on boards, which should be for our cities. They want to make sure that people have experience and qualification, and then there's also training. So our job as a city is to make sure all of the condo associations in our area are following those rules. So research it. There's already a law in place, passed in 2024.
I have a different take on it. There are nearly 5,055 and over condo in this small city of Lauderdale Lakes. And when the city was formed, it was not formed with single family people in mind or families in mind. And a lot of those condo owners, if we are not careful, they are going to be homeless because of the new burden that has been placed on all of them with reserves coming up with thousands and thousands of dollars. And I did ask in the budget, present budget, that some monies be reserved for those people who are really, really going to need the help. There are many people who are only on Social Security, and their maintenance is half of what they bring in. So I would love for my city to go back on the budget and see what they can do so that these people
Thank you, Commissioner.
I agree with Anika, as we said, we have to fight this in Tallahassee. And that's where the fight starts. And once we get to Tallahassee and we make a difference there, then all the it will trickle down, and there. That's how we're going to help the residents in the condo.
I fully support my opponents on that one. But the city, we still need to put more pressure on these condominium. Got to have more inspection right through all the time. Because if we don't put pressure on it, we're going to have the same thing in Surfside. And we got to prevent that from happening right here in Lauderdale Lakes.
All right. We'll move right along to our third question. Good engagement, good engagement. All righty, so the next question, this is for candidate Dr. Nethel Stevens. Florida Medical, the only hospital in Lauderdale Lakes, has filed bankruptcy. Every city needs a capable hospital. What are your plans to ensure that our city has a functional and efficiently run hospital?
That's a loaded question. I think part of the issue that we face as a city is everybody runs for office and always say, we'll never raise your taxes, we'll never raise your fire assessment. But the reality, when we look from a budgetary perspective, is that's why my platform is Building the City for the Future, is right now, we're talking about our fire assessment, funds that can go towards all of the things that we do, emergency services, medical service. It hasn't changed, but the reality is the price we pay for a fire assessment only funds 63%. The other 37%, guess where it comes? From the general revenue budget. You times that time, 15 years, we are sacrificing generations of our future for now because we want to make a promise to you that we will never raise your taxes. It's a business decision. I think that's what we have to elevate for. So I think the reason is we start needing to look at them. How much do we support Florida Medical? How much do our residents go to Florida Medical? It's one thing to say we have a vibrant city, but are we going to Broward General? Are we going to Westside Regional? How much do the residents go to Florida Medical? What is the service like at Florida Medical? I know in the past, on the Economic Development Board, the chair, somebody from Florida Medical always sat on that board. So the reality is we need to do that type of to find out. Thank you so much.
And we can start over at Anika, if you want to.
Florida Medical. I have been asking the question, what are we doing about Florida Medical? It was in the papers from as early as February that they were in bankruptcy and that they were selling out all of the land. They are not interested in the really building in the land. And I really don't know what we can do besides getting Broward Health, since a part of our taxes goes directly to Broward Health. I would hope that someone is listening and that the city manager along with the city attorney is having meaningful conversations with them so that they can do something, because I can drive my car and go
Causewell.
what the other.
Oh, what we're doing, one, we're not taking none of our residents there. If the paramedics call, we're taking you guys to another nearby hospital. So we're not taking any of our residents to that hospital. And I think, I believe we should, I want to reach out to Broward County itself and have Broward County purchase the space and turn it into another Broward General. And so that's my mission, and hopefully we can have that accomplished.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know about hospital, okay? But I know so far Florida Medical owned by Orlando Health Center, but my little research showed me. And if we have this issue, Commissioner, and we're going to be serious about this. If you all know from April that we're going in bankruptcy, why we don't make a move from early to get Broad General and other institutions to take over the hospital? Why we going to wait till it go in foreclosure and think now? Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. I'm just throwing out mine. Okay.
And Anika, Omphroy, you in, okay.
All right. So I think the city could be and should have been doing a lot more to support Florida Medical. But I also have to agree with some of my colleagues over there on the panel has mentioned. Well, first of all, I do know that when people are getting injured or something happens to them, I've always wondered why they don't go to Florida Medical. And that's the first thing. But also, I would also entertain asking for somebody who else can take over the space and be a lot more responsible with that space. But I also want to say this. At what point are we looking at Florida Medical and asking them how are they servicing us as a community? And I think that is a huge key component that we need to look at. I've worked as a community health worker for 4.5 years, and my work was specializing in bridging the gap between community and the healthcare system. So we brought health to the residents. We were educating the residents on chronic disease management, diabetes management. We were helping residents understand the importance of health, and we were working with other people like Broward Health and Broward General to do so. I'm open to either of those hospitals coming to Lauderdale Lakes. I'm also willing to look more into the issue, to learn more about the issue, to see what the city can do for that hospital. But I also think the biggest thing is what's the relationship with the city residents and that hospital. Because when I was growing up, they said if something happened to you, if you got hit by a car, don't go to Florida Medical. You gonna die. You gonna die. Am I lying? That's exactly what people were saying. So what does that tell you about that hospital? Even if we do build it up the way we needed to, there's something wrong with the brand of that hospital. Just like there's something wrong with the brand of the city of Lauderdale. How can we make it more trustworthy for our residents?
Thank you so very much. When I sit to think about Florida Medical Center, the first thing I have to say is it is a private entity. We cannot go into a private entity and tell it what to do. We cannot go in and change a private entity. We have to wait and advocate from the outside, because just like I can't go into your home and tell you what to do in your home, you have to wait and advocate from the outside as a governmental entity to be able to start the conversation. But then we can also advocate on multiple levels. You can reach out to your county commissions to talk about what resources they have available for failing hospital systems. I don't know that Broward County has had a failing hospital system before, so this may be very new for all the people who are currently elected to office. So it starts a conversation. We need to talk to our state. What are the shortfalls that the state can help our city with to help assist us through the problem of not having a hospital in our area? But mainly, I think that the best route would be to look at our health system that we already pay taxes into and seeing whether or not they would be able to come into and take over Florida Medical Center. The other thing is, how can the city offset expenses for Florida Medical Center and the cities surrounding it? Because it's not just Lauderdale Lakes that feeds into Florida Medical Center. So my point is, you can't go into a private entity and tell them what to do, but you can prepare for what is coming. You can prepare your residents for the changes that are coming forward, inform them of where they will be taken if something should happen.
Thank you, Anika.
Thank you so very much for the opportunity.
The next question is for Commissioner Tycie Causewell. Alrighty, here's a question. Roughly 26% of our population is under the age of 18. If re-elected, what programs will you implement to engage our youth?
As of now, the city has quite a few programs for youth. Quite a few. The last time, I think I heard the city manager said we had over nearly 80 initiatives. And quite a few are there. Someone spoke about the STEM program. There is a STEM program being run at the city at Willie Webb Park. My focus is not they have enough, but sometimes the kids, are they coming out to the programs that are already in place? So I would encourage the Parks and Recreation Director to make sure that the residents know that these programs are available.
Thank you. Yeah, next person if you want to have the option to pass or answer. 90 seconds. Go ahead, you have 90 seconds.
So I have there are a couple programs that I have implemented. One of them is Literacy Day. I have a literacy program every other month to engage our youth to get off their phones and be engaged, and that is free. There's a lot of programs that I would love to implement for our youth. and especially not charging. That's the other problem. A lot of we do have programs in our city, but there's a cost. And again, we are struggling, and we do not want that cost. So I'm working on getting grants that we can put into these programs, that we can offer dance class, classes, things that they enjoy, drama. I know my kids used to love a good drama class, and I used to have a drama program at Fields Academy, and it was very well attended. Dance classes, things that really get them out of the house, off their phones, off their laptops, and engage, and have these programs to be free of cost to them. So that's what I'm working on right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a board member of Park and Recreation, we're working on a lot of programs within the city. Culture, sports, we want to bring it across to the neighborhood. We want to get every neighborhood to get involved in athletic. So we have enough youths where we can have Northgate play against Eastgate. We have competition here, we have competition there, and we just can bring the whole city together. So that is something that we're working on right now, to unite the whole entire city, bring sports, culture to the residents of Lauderdale Lakes. So our youths really can have something to look up to. Right now, we have nothing going on. The literacy program the commission talk about, that is just that. We ain't got nothing going on. We just have the football program going on over there. That was about it. We need to have more things engaged for our youths in the city.
So I'm going to say this. I went to the city's website. I don't know how many of you have visited the city's website. Have you gone to the parks part of the website? There's no information there. There's no information there to tell you what programs are in the city. So to hear that there's a STEM program is very interesting to me, because I've yet to see it on any city programs. I Googled, I searched, I saw nothing. So I'm going to say this. I went to Parkland's website, and I was able to see that they had chess club, fencing club, fitness classes, game development, coding, LA Star Trek, soccer, martial arts classic, game design, music together. I would like to see programs like that initiated in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. And why I said that I wanted STEAM education is because it includes the arts. We have a city that is currently not functioning at proper capacity. If I cannot find my parks information so that I as a resident can go to a park and bring my kid to a park, then we are failing at a major level. It is not showing us what we have, and if you're not showing me what I have, then I think I have nothing, and I don't know where my tax dollars are going. So I would like to say,
thank you, Anika.
I would like to say that I love what Commissioner Karlene Maxwell has been putting into work, but I want to say that I have spoken numerous times to our elected officials about the fact that our website is defunct and deficient.
Thank you, Anika. Thank you.
So, with my background of working with the youth, I could tell you that Lauderdale Lakes is not doing enough to engage our youth here in the city. They're not doing enough. Couple of things. For one, I'm already working on programs and initiatives to tackle this issue specifically. And specifically what Lauderdale Lakes need is we need more programs catered towards teenage-aged youth. So literacy level is very important. I champion that. But when it comes to programs for teenage-aged youth, we don't have enough of that. So chess tournament, I'm working with the local barbershop right now, Platinum Cuts, to start a chess tournament, to get kids within the city of Lauderdale Lakes to partake in a chess tournament. Lauderdale Lakes does do a karate program class. I have seen that. But it is true, it is not on the website. And that's why I think I would be a great fit for this, because I'm trained to do community outreach, to bring more engagement from the community. And I think that's the issue at Lauderdale Lakes. We're not doing enough to get the word out, to get our residents engaged. You can have the best program in the world. You can have all the programs in Parkland. But if you're not letting your residents know about that, then you're doing your residents a disservice.
Thank you, Easton. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm actually the candidate that work with the youth in our city right now. We see the president is right there, over 469 registered youth, with about 78% of them staying right in Lauderdale Lakes. There are a lot of great ideas to offer our programs. Let's talk about the structures to house these programs. Okay? Vincent Torrey Park, when it rains, if you come out there, Get out your houses and start coming to the parks. They do have programs. They do the Game Changers program where they hire and pay our students over the summer, but you got to get from out of your house. We got to be more proactive in advertising what we do. Get it to the residents. Website is good, but how many of y'all go to the website? Let's speak truth. You want to look at the people? I do too. But when you knock on people's door, they're like, oh, I didn't know about this. So it's really, you can have a good product. If you're not marketing in a variety of ways, it doesn't make a difference. But we need to also look at our facilities to house these programs. Because right now we need upgrade to Vincent Torres Park. They did some upgrades at Willie Webb, but there are different things that they're doing. They have the after-school care program, which one of our youth that actively participated is right there. He participates in it. We have the football and cheer program that does more than just sports.
Thank you,
Dr. We have Game
Stevens.
Changers. Thank you.
My question is, what steps will you take to improve disaster preparedness and response in Lauderdale Lakes, especially as it relates to senior citizens? And when I put that on, here's the caveat. When we have hurricane issues in our city, what can be done to ensure that elderly homeowners or residents in our city is well taken care of? Those that don't have family members, extended family members, or nucleus family members within the home, to make sure that their home is safe and to make sure they're safe. So did you understand the question, or should I start the first question again? It's like a two-part, three-part question. And this is for Commissioner Karlene Maxwell. What steps will you take to improve disaster preparedness and response in Lauderdale Lakes?
I have created, what did I do? I did a resolution for sandbags. That when there is going to be a lot of rain and flooding, you now have something in place. I put something in place that you can come and get, I guess, about 10 sandbags for family. If you cannot come for the sandbags, you can call. My husband has a truck. I go and I deliver sandbags to people's homes that is in need of it during the flooding. So that is the initiative that I've put in place for the city, the residents of Lauderdale Lakes. As far as the elderlies are concerned, I do know a lot of elderlies, especially in my area. I'm very transparent. My number is everywhere. So if they call, we'll be there with the sandbags or whatever they need in order to assist. I call the city manager, let them know that there are people, give them a list of names, and I tell her, get our workers out there and drop these off to these residents and these addresses. And that's as much as I can do for now on my part, and that's what I do. I know y'all gonna clap for that, because I do the sandbags. Really, guys? Really?
First of all, again, we're going about this the wrong way again. What we need is to have a registrate for all our senior citizens. We know where they are. We don't need to find, we know where they are at all times.
We do have that.
We, the city of Lauderdale Lakes, do have a registry for seniors, and they also have the alert system, and there is like a buddy system where they call in the mornings, and if they didn't get them, they call. The city, the response has been good. Unfortunately, we do not have enough workers that they are going to take and let them check, because I live alone. My neighbors live alone, but do they want anyone to come in? But there is an alert system, and they can call. The system has been set up, and there is also the emergency system whereby...
Thank you, Commissioner Causewell.
So Commissioner Causewell talked about the alert system. One of the things that we could do is, and we talked about this a lot in the Budget Advisory Committee, is just like cities are supposed to have a replacement plan for different buildings, work with code enforcement because they're out in the community seeing and talking. When we know that a storm is coming, maybe we can do the buddy if we have our citizens on patrol that can buddy with our code enforcement to go by and say, hey, Miss Ethel, we're just making sure you're good, making sure we have a minor home repair program. So if we know that those programs that may need to be hardened, their roofs need to be changed, so that we can really make sure that those houses that we know have attention, we start way before disaster season starts, but that we're working with them, getting them the information, but that we're going out. We say we're the We Care City. That's part of what we do. I love my neighbor. I'm checking on the people on my street, finding out if they need, it's more than just sandbags, but making sure that the house is prepared for the actual disaster. They have what they need with canned goods and everything. So that's some of the things that we can do, but we can also make sure that the city is prepared
Thank
as
you,
well.
Dr. Stevens.
I think that's an excellent question. I actually want to take the conversation a step further. We talked about code enforcement. What I would like to introduce into the city is what's called CERTs, C-E-R-T, Community Emergency Response Teams. Yes. We need community emergency response teams because these individuals will be trained by the city, and these will be volunteers that will be boots on the ground going to people's doors. Yes, we have a registrar of all the seniors. Do we use it? No. Is it effective? No. I believe in grassroots strategies. You can't put a flyer on a website, and most of our senior citizens can't use the website. That's it. We as a city are completely out of date. And there's a lot of people who are running for office who actually were elected officials before, didn't have these ideas when they were in office, but now they're on stage here trying to give you ideas. I have already been doing the work. I've done disaster relief already during different hurricanes throughout the communities. There was a story I heard where somebody for Lauderdale
Easton.
was giving out.
Just wanted to touch base that the CERT program
Thank you, Commissioner Karlene Maxwell. It's Anika Omphroy. You have the floor. You have 90 seconds.
So first off, I'd like to say the first way to start with a disaster is what I did. In Tallahassee, I got you over $5 million for canal stabilization and to improve our drainage system. So right off the bat, let me tell you what our city has done though. Our city has not actually used any of the funds that I set down for canal stabilization or for drainage. And that should have been used between the July 1st, 2022, you guys had access to those resources. I fought very hard in Tallahassee to make sure we had that fund because I knew that we were surrounded by canals. And we have yet to use any of those resources. So the first step is for the city to actually put the canal stabilization money that it received and the drainage stabilization money it received into effect to make sure that we do not flood out. What I've noticed is our city has pushed these resources that should have been completed in the year 2024. These projects should have been done. I see it placed in the budgets 3 years out from now. So I did start the work of making sure that you were safe. I cared about your well-being because I made sure I brought back that millions of dollars, $5-point-something million to deal with canal stabilization and drainage. I don't know what is taking place. I don't understand how it's been spread out for another 3 years. I'm concerned about us not getting resources ever again. So please, make it a point to ask the next set of people who come up, what am I going to do now? Ensure as your commissioner that the funds actually get used properly to actually stabilize our system.
Thank you, Ms. Omphroy.
I didn't make this question up or any of them, but it says, how do you plan to enhance and expand public green space that would benefit the residents and businesses? And that would be for candidate Paul Martin.
Oh, that one is simple, man. That one is a simple question. That. The Beautification Advisory Board, which I am chairperson, we start a program already. And we looking at the Cypress Chase Preservation Park, because we want to make that in a butterfly and hummingbird park. So that's an easy question for me to answer, because green space is what we're working on right now. We're planting a lot of trees in the cities, you know, bushes, all over the place, everything, trees, bush, everything we're planting in the city. So just make it up to date. So that was the easy one, okay?
We go ahead and start with Anika Omphroy. 90 seconds.
So what I was looking at recently was a study that took place in Colombia where they actually started including, is it my turn? Oh, okay, sorry. So in Colombia, what they started to do was add plants into areas that were concreted out. In the city of Lauderdale Lakes, what I've noticed is in order to, pause for a second, in order to reduce what's taking place with the climate changes that we have, by increasing the trees and the plants that we have in our communities, we can reduce the temperatures of our cities. And so it's important to make sure we go back in and change code to increase the beautification and greenery in our community, to increase the amount of trees that we have per square footage, to lower our greenhouse emission, to make sure that our city actually gets a chance to be cooler. Right now we have way too much concrete and not enough grass and not enough trees. And one of the things that we can do is go back in, look at how we have things laid out when people are coming before us to make changes to their parking lots and their condominiums or changes to their property. We can say, hey, these are the new codes. If you make a change to your property, we need you to plant 4 trees. And that's as simple as that. They did that in Colombia, and over the past 10 years, they've been able to lower their temperature by 10%.
I think that's a great question. Thank you for that. I don't know about Colombia, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about Lauderdale Lakes. Lauderdale Lakes does not need more trees, you guys. We have a lot of mango trees, coconut trees, June plum trees. We have the whole 9 yards. What probably we could do is more tree education, but we don't need more trees. The question was, how are we going to utilize underutilized green space within the city? That was the question. So here's the answer. Right now, we have so much vacant land in the city of Lauderdale Lakes that people are just driving past it. It's getting overgrown, and nothing is being done with that. Programs that I have worked on is you can get a community garden that are in sacks, put them on these vacant lots. So when you sell the lot, you can just pick up the sacks and move them at a later time. We can do community outreach sport games in these vacant fields. Somebody said where? There's a vacant lot right behind the flea market over there on 31st. Going to help you out? Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand. There was no interrupting. There's a lot of unutilized green space within the city. Right next to City Hall, there's a huge green space where people park their cars, underutilized. We could be doing outdoor community markets, business markets, helping our small businesses. I've done programs and community events in these green spaces before. We're not utilizing them not nearly enough, and I think the city of Lauderdale Lakes needs to do more. And no, we don't need to do more trees, and you don't need advice from somebody who voted with individuals in Tallahassee that don't believe in climate change.
Thank you,
So I really
Easton.
don't understand where these responses are coming from. Thank you.
I would start with Lauderdale Marketplace, that is supposedly our town center. Please go there and see how horrible that place is. We could really do something and really take up some of the parking lots and make it livable or greenery. It looks really, really bad, so I would suggest that is, if we really want to do something in Lauderdale Lakes, start with Lauderdale Marketplace, that is really our town center.
Thank you.
The first thing I would do is look at the city's strategic plan and part of the land use that the commissioners are supposed to do and see what they already have planned out for green space and open space. I know we had 2 community gardens. They shut one down because they're building on that space. And so it's vitally important that you really understand that as commissioners, that you're responsible for land use and development. So really looking at what we have in place, what's the plan, what areas are available, because you can have green space, but if they're putting buildings, condos, businesses, and closing down the green space you have, then there's absolutely nothing that you can do. But we do need it. So the reality fact is we're building where some of our green space was. And so we really have to look at our strategic plan, really look at our land use and what we have in the city. We only got 3-point-something square miles. It's not like we got a 40-mile city. So we have to use wisdom on where we're at, and we've put a lot of apartments and business. You talk about economic development, you want more income, but then you're saying you want. So we really got to stop all of this and really do what commissioners are supposed to do, and that's govern and give direction to the city staff. Thank you.
Question is, what do you think about the eyesores in our commercial landmarks in our city?
We're not hearing over here.
We have commercial eyesores in our city. What do you think about those eyesores, and what is your plans to make a difference about how our city looks cosmetically as it pertains to our commercial landmarks?
One, I would like to say that we have the center of our city is Lauderdale Marketplace, and then across the way is the other plaza, I believe it's called the Reef Plaza. So my mission is to actually look at eminent domain to take over both of those plazas. I had a conversation with a government attorney, a city attorney, recently in reference to this, and Lauderdale Marketplace owes about $1 million plus currently in fines to the city of Lauderdale Lakes. I do know that that gives us grounds to look at eminent domain. Eminent domain is when you, as a government entity, say to the landowners that this property could be used for better for public use if we owned it. We would have to pay fair market value for this particular plazas, but then it would give us an opportunity to do the growth that we deem necessary within the city of Lauderdale Lakes, which would be to move our government center to 441 in Oakland Park, which would move our fire to 441 in Oakland Park and give us the beauty that we rightfully deserve as residents of the city of Lauderdale Lakes. I hear my opponent taking shots at my record in Tallahassee, but no one can take shots at $30 million brought back to the district that I rightfully love and take care of with all of my heart. I hear a lot of what I think I can do and what I think I might do, and this is what my government advocacy is. I can tell you that I started out advocating at the age of 25, and I have not stopped advocating for the city of Lauderdale Lakes. When I'm not serving in office for 4 years, I'm back in my city serving on community redevelopment. I'm back in my city sitting on coding and planning.
Thank you, Anika.
I am so over people taking shots at people that they can't even throw a stone at because
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, is him? Okay.
We're going to start. You go next, Mr. Easton.
Okay. Can you repeat the question for me?
Oh. I'll have my co-moderator repeat the question.
How do you feel about the eyesores in our city as it pertains to commercial properties? And what do you feel is a remedy to that problem?
Thank you for that question. I think that's an excellent question. I think the eyesores in our community, we have to hold our plazas and our business community more accountable. Right now, when it comes to our plazas and those communities, we have to talk to the leasing managers and try to get them to put more pressure on the businesses that they're leasing out to keep these business communities looking good, looking fresh for the city. I think that's what we can do as a city. And I don't mean to take shots at my opponent. I just want you all to make a very informed vote about who you are supporting. She comes up here and touts about some of the money that she helped bring down here. And I think it's unfair that we don't give enough credit to the city staff who worked hard to do that. Because if you understand the process, it's the city that makes your proposal to Tallahassee. She just shepherds it. So that's a part of answering the question. Also, I want you to vote for someone who does not have a history of any ethics issues. You're looking at a candidate who is not on probation, a candidate that does not have anything going on in his record. Somebody who does not work against your best interest, hide in Tallahassee, and then come back down here and look all nice. I would wear makeup, but I won't. But I'm just telling you that when it comes to our business community, we need somebody that can help our eyesores, that has already been in the community, that have driven around and seen the eyesore.
The time, thank you.
No need to be sitting up here.
Attention, attention. So I want to get everybody's attention as candidates on our panel.
We're still on the same question that we have. Yeah, so this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. So when we talk about the eyesores in our city, I think when we went through the budget process, we paid the city attorney enough that they say to recoup funds for all of those fines that have been levied against those property. So at some point, it's now to go to the next level because they have been fined and assessed for all of those buildings that are not up to compliance. So now we go to the process of what's next in terms of eminent domain, taking over, because at this point, you train people how to treat you. We've been in bed with these property owners. We've been taking money from these property owners. And so now we've waited years to say something about the property. So now it's taking this process. So now we have to do what we have to do because this is our city. This is where some of us live, work, and play. So at this point, now that we've paid the attorney to levy the fines, we go to the next process of really putting the pressure on these property owners because the property associate managers, they can't do nothing. They don't have the power. It is the owners that we have to now force their hand to do what it needs to do to make sure that they're in compliance with our city code. Not with what they want to do, but what our city code is. We got to train them how to treat us.
I pass Lauderdale Marketplace at least twice a day. And I say it loud and clear on the days. It is the worst plaza in Broward County. And as my Miss Omphroy said, there is eminent domain. And CRA, it's part of the CRA, they can start doing something. It is more than an eyesore. It does not represent any of the residents here. So I would really, really love for the city attorney, he's working on it, to continue and decide, let's go for eminent domain because it does not represent any resident in this city.
I was proud to be on the dais when we got rid of the bowling alley. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It was there for years. We got rid of it. There's another building right behind the gas station, across from McDonald's. We're in the process with the attorneys. The process takes a while. Going to court, talking, arbitration. It's not an easy process to have something be done and finding them, and hopefully we're not in the business of taking properties, but we're working hard in the back end to make that happen. So right now we're working on the property behind the gas station to either have it demolished or have it turned into something that is fitting, not an eyesore to the city. Where McDonald's is, we already find that find them, so they already been cleaning up and working on. We're on him really hard to make sure he keep that plaza clean. The plaza where Montego Bay is, the new owners are refacing it. We have Juicy Patty in there now. We have some nice businesses coming in, and that one is on work. My biggest issue is the plaza across the street from our city hall. I think that we need to remove that little car dealership and really
Commissioner.
clean it up. So what we're working on it takes time.
Lakes Marketplace, yes, is the eyesore. That whole entire plaza need to come out. What we need here, we can put our transport hub inside there, some high-rise building right at the intersection of 441 and Oakland Park, right there. We need an update building right there. Something to give the city a facelift, just right inside it. A matter of fact, all four corners between Oakland Park and 441 Bowl. Marketplace is a disaster to the city, especially when it rains. When it rains, that name Lauderdale Lakes. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. We are going to wrap up session 1 by giving each one of the commissioners, candidates, 60 seconds to do closing. And we can start with Mr. Candidate Martin. 60 seconds for your closing remarks.
Okay, you can jump in it. Okay. 60 seconds, start now. It's been a pleasure addressing you all today. And we have fun today, right? We all have fun today. Absolutely. But November coming up, and we have issue. My opinion right here is an issue. She don't attend homeowners associations. She don't attend condo associations. She don't know the resident of Lauderdale Lakes. And it's time we send our packing. Commissioner, we got to send your packing. Time come. You got to go.
I'm glad you guys are clapping for that. I didn't know I need to be at association in order to be a good commissioner to you guys. But I have been out there. You can see me at a citizenship drive. You can see me at a literacy program. You can call me anytime you want to. And I did not know I needed to do that. Well, no, please. You do, oh, sorry. Almost 4 years ago, you elected me as your commissioner. Since then, I have been a fresh voice, taking action and getting results on issues and concerns important to you and your family. My empathy, confidence, and drive and determination greatly serve our city. I ask for your vote to re-elect me for your Lauderdale Lakes Commission seat 4 so that I can continue to work to make Lauderdale Lakes safer, stronger, and taking action and delivering results on issues.
Thank you, Commissioner Causewell. Maxwell. Williams.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Green and your team for putting on this. As I said before, I've been living here for a long time. Can't hear? My name again is Commissioner Tycie Causewell, and I'm running for seat 3. I consider myself fearless. I really look out for the residents. And tonight or this evening, I'm asking you for the vote. There are things that are at the city that I need to continue to work on. So please remember Tycie Causewell, seat 3, when you go to vote. Thank you and have a good night.
We're going to ask for the commissioners on this day, the candidates, to please be respectful when someone else is talking, so no other talking, no other conversations. Thank you. Dr. Nethel Stevens, 60 seconds.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Nethel Stevens. I hope the night didn't prove anything else, that it's time for a change for our city. It's time for us to really elect. It's not about an individual. It's about, we all sit in these rooms and we say we care about our city, but we continue to vote for the same type and the same people. Period. That's what we do. We sit in here and we don't elect who's best for the city. We elect who we like. And then we get in here and we complain about not spending money. While I sent this down, listen, the issue is when you don't have people that have the ability to govern, you get what you elect. And so I am asking for your vote for change for our city. Everybody on here has a passion for our city. I'm not saying nothing negative about nobody because I believe everybody have a heart. I can't say that Commissioner Causewell doesn't have a love for her city. She does. So everybody has a heart for the city. I'm asking for the competent, the ability to govern and move our city forward.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens.
Everyone, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. This is an amazing, amazing experience. I've worked as a community organizer and seen a lot of great people run for office, helped some people get into office, helped some bad people stay out of office. But to be a candidate myself has been the most awesome, inspiring experience. I want to thank you guys for showing up and being part of this. My name is Easton Harrison. I'm asking for your support because I'm going to prioritize public safety. I'm going to help our business community. And one key thing about Lauderdale Lakes, over 8,000 cars drive through Oakland and 441 every day. What reason are we giving them to stay here and spend their money? I want to see Lauderdale Lakes be more than just a pass-through city. Lauderdale Lakes, once I'm elected, will become a destination city for our residents, a destination city for everybody else that's driving through here. This is not just a shortcut to your destination. Lauderdale Lakes is the place to be. And on November 5th, I'm asking for your support to help bring that vision to life. You have these candidates up here. Don't just listen to what they say to you.
Thank you, Easton.
Once again, my name is Anika Omphroy. I'm your former state representative for District 95. And as my opponent mentioned, he said that I actually am on probation currently, but he did not give you the details of my probation. My probation came about because I stood up for the redistricting in the state of Florida. And as you know, our current governor has removed state attorneys for thinking differently than him, removed our entire school board. What he did to me was, a day after we shut down Tallahassee for the improper redistricting of our state and removing 2 black districts, I got a letter of notice that I needed to go to Miami-Dade County for them to review my not filing my campaign reports on time. I decided to hold up my hand in court and say, yes, I'll take this probation until this man gets out of office. I know what I can fight and what I cannot fight. So yes, I am on probation, but I'm on probation for standing up for the people of the state of Florida. And I will take those hits every single time because I do what is best for my community, the community that I serve and love. So, on that note, if you elect me to be your state representative.
Thank you. All right. That ends our session 1. I would like to thank our candidates. Thank you, guys. I know this wasn't easy. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate you. So now we do have some light refreshments in the lobby area or right out front.